All right, boys, welcome back to another video. Knicks Daily here. Today we're talking about the Knicks trading for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Mark Stein reported yesterday that the Knicks are among four teams that are emerging as a likely landing spot for Antetokounmpo should he force his way out of Milwaukee this season. Now, me personally, I don't think Giannis is going to leave the Bucks, but I also didn't see Bridges leaving the Nets, and I didn't see Cat leaving the Timberwolves. Giannis is a significantly better player than both of them. But I just feel like he's just gonna stay with the Bucks. But let's say he does ask out, the Knicks definitely have an enticing offer because if you look at their team, they've got OG, they've got Mikal Bridges, and they've got Cat. We've also got Miles McBride. Honestly, I would probably trade anything for Giannis. And I know a lot of people are going to disagree, and I don't even hate them for it, man. I completely get it. But if we're talking about getting maybe the best player in basketball, if we compare Brunson with Giannis, I don't think anyone in the league is going to be able to beat that. Even if we don't have much depth, I mean, again, Giannis, he might be the best player in the game. Jalen Brunson as a second option, I mean, it worked with Luca, but also, again, Giannis, he's won a championship. He's proven to be able to be that guy throughout an entire playoff series. Luca sort of crashed in the finals. And, Brunson, he's just the perfect complement to Giannis, too. I mean, he would get so much opportunity because Giannis is commanding double and triple teams. And Cat, we haven't seen him be a number one option in the league. He's not been able to do it at a winning level. Giannis, again, he's won a championship. You're going to hear me say that a lot this video. We want to bring in a guy who's been able to get it done as the number one. That would be perfect, right? The question is the money. So Giannis, he's making a lot of money to say the least. He's under contract through 2027 with a 67 million player option for the 2028. So he's making 67 million per season. The only other player that can even get up to that is AD in 2028. So if the Knicks bring in Giannis, they're going to be paying him basically as much money as you possibly can. But I think he's worth it because he's not only averaging 31, he's not only grabbing 12.3 boards and dishing out 6.3 assists. He's an elite defender. Giannis is a defensive, all NBA first team type of guy. He's just unguardable. He's unstoppable. I don't think I've seen a player more dominant than Giannis. Now, for my age, I didn't see prime Shaq play, right? But like outside of that, I think Giannis is probably the next closest, right? Like LeBron, Kobe, are, very unstoppable. I mean, Giannis is literally 7-footer that is insanely quick, fast, athletic. I mean, I don't think there's an answer to be able to defend him. And that's a type of player that I want in New York next to Jalen Brunson. I mean, that would just be absolute music to my ears. But the question is going to be again, how do the Knicks financially make this work? We'd have to give up Cat, and if we do give up Cat, well, the Bucks they're going to be pairing Brook Lopez with Cat, and I just don't see that happening, right? So the Knicks they're not getting Giannis. Let's just be honest here. I'm not going to sit up here and clickbait you guys and make you think it's going to happen. Yes, if Giannis does ask out, the Knicks will try to trade for him. I can pretty much promise you that because it's Giannis and the Knicks are on the list. But why mess this roster up? We're 3-2, but come on. I mean, it's a new team. Bridges, Towns, they're both in the starting lineup. I mean, how many guys on our roster right now were with us last season? We've got Brunson, Hart, Anunoby, McBride, Achua, Mitch. Is that it? Sims. So that's what, 7 players? And some of those guys are injured, like Precious and Mitch are out right now. So, I mean, basically the majority of our team is completely new. And I've liked what I've seen. We definitely have to work on the defensive side of the ball. But from an offensive standpoint, I mean, we're second right now in field goal percentage. And we've seen the Knicks shoot the ball extremely well. The Celtics game, they were 55%. The Cavs game was kind of the one outlier. We were just not great in that one, but we only lost by 6 to a 7-0 team. We were up double digits. We beat the Heat in Miami. We beat a bad Pistons team. We blew out the Pacers, who made the playoffs last season, as we all know. Unfortunately, they beat us in 7 games. But like, I don't think the Knicks should mess up this team. It's kind of like half of me is like go all in on Giannis, but half of me is also like, do we really need to go get Giannis? Because this team right now can win a championship, right? If you look at your team and you can win a championship, why mess with it, right? I would get if let's say maybe it's only been guys 5 games, so I don't even want to overreact to that. But let's just say that we don't believe the Knicks have what it takes. The roster just doesn't click. Then okay, maybe let's move it around and go get Giannis because we traded a lot for Cat, we traded a lot for Bridges. Let's try to fix it. But I mean, honestly, both of those guys have played extraordinarily well. Bridges is averaging 18 a night on 52% from the field. He's also played elite defense. Cat is averaging 22 and 11 on 55% from the field, and he's shooting what 64.7% from three. On the season, Cat is at 64.7% from three. So both of our acquisitions are playing well. They're playing really the best of their career. I mean, Bridges, we've seen him be, of course, the number one option for the Nets. But like the first half of last season, Bridges that was the best ball of his career. But again, just from an efficiency standpoint, doing it on both ends, I mean, he's taken over for us. I mean, I'm liking what I'm seeing out of these guys. So if we go get Giannis, I mean, it would cost us an arm and a leg. He's also making a ton of money. And it kind of reminds me of like the Bucks when they traded for Dame. They didn't have to do that, right? If they didn't do that trade, they would be perfectly fine right now. So if we go get Giannis, it actually could make us a worse team. So I definitely think the Knicks should avoid that. If Giannis hits free agency and wants to come to the Knicks, completely different story. We can figure out that when we get there. But right now, I'm not going to say this is like a Melo situation because Giannis is a significantly better player than Melo. Melo might be my all-time favorite player, but again, Melo did not make anyone better. Giannis would make everyone better, and he's won a championship as the number one guy. So yeah, absolutely. If Giannis wants to come here in free agency, let's make that work. But in terms of outside of that, I just don't see us even having enough to get Giannis because if you're the Bucks, why the hell would you trade Giannis for Cat? You're going to want draft picks, young players to sort of build around. You're not going to just bring in Cat. It just makes no sense, man. I don't understand why they would do that. Unless Giannis said, "Hey, look, I want to be a Knick. That's the only place I want to go to." Then maybe the Bucks will do that just because Giannis got them a championship and was one of the best players ever to play for their franchise. I mean, outside of the Big O, and I would say, is he better than the Big O? I mean, I'd say Kareem's obviously better, but I think Giannis is probably better than the Big O, if I'm being honest. Giannis is that dude, bro. He's one of the guys that kind of got me like really big into basketball, man, coming out of Greece. But yeah, I'm kind of rambling to this point. So in terms of some other news, guys, Hook Porty, the Knicks converted his two-way into a standard two-year deal, which is great. Precious. So you guys remember when he got injured, there was a 2 to 4 week window. It's officially been 2 weeks. Yesterday was the second week. He still is not practicing, so it's looking like it's going to take another week, maybe two, for him to come back. And without Achua, we've seen Jericho Sims get minutes, and he's coming off of the best game of his season. He did not score in 16 minutes, but I thought Sims looked pretty good. And campaign is actually doubtful tonight, which means we should see a lot of Tyler Kolek. It'd be interesting to see how much we do, but without Payne, I mean, I don't know why we wouldn't go to Kolek, right? Especially because I mean, he can ball, bro. His defense concerns me right now, but he can shoot, he can score, and he can pass. And I think him and Hukporty are going to be extremely dangerous for us in the future. Bacom Dottie actually has looked pretty solid too. I'm hoping to see some of him tonight against the Rockets. Now, the Rockets are coming off of a game where they were down 31 to the Warriors, and they came back and took the lead a couple times. And then ultimately they lost in overtime. So the Rockets are probably going to be rejuvenated. They're going to be ready to go. But the Knicks, I don't see them having much issue with the Rockets tonight. They've got a young team, so if the Knicks don't come into play, then yeah, they'll lose. But I think the Knicks will come to play. They just blew out the Pistons, right? If they came to play against the Pistons, they'll come to play against the Rockets. Also, revenge game if I'm Jalen Brunson, because the last time these two teams played in Houston, there was an absolutely egregious foul call on Brunson that lost us that game. So I do not be surprised if Brunson hangs 40 tonight and just absolutely silences this Rockets crowd. But yeah, guys, that's all I got for you. Knicks Daily. Let me know your thoughts in the video. Peace.